Welcome back to the Deep Dive, where we take a closer look, at the stories and events shaping our world.
Yeah.
Today we're focusing on a piece from the Korea Herald about the passing of South Korean actress Kim Sae-ron.
Hmm.
It's certainly a somber topic, and we want to extend our condolences to her family, friends, and fans.
Of course.
But before we get to the news of her passing, I think it's important to understand the incredible career that she built, starting at a remarkably young age.
Right. Kim Sae-ron was born in 2000 and debuted as a child actor in 2009.
Wow.
To put that in perspective, she was only 9 years old.
9 years old.
She quickly rose to prominence, particularly for her roles in films like The Man from Nowhere in 2010 and The Neighbor in 2012.
The Man from Nowhere was a huge international hit. I remember seeing it and being blown away by her performance.
Yeah.
To have that level of talent and screen presence at such a young age is truly remarkable.
It is.
It makes you wonder what it must have been like to grow up in the spotlight like that.
It really does. The Man from Nowhere was a turning point in her career, solidifying her status as a rising star. But it also raises questions about the pressures and challenges of child stardom, especially within the demanding South Korean film industry.
This is where it gets interesting. The article doesn't go into detail about this, but I know South Korea has a very rigorous entertainment industry.
Right.
Do we have any insight into what that environment might have been like for someone starting so young?
Well, it's known for its high expectations and intense competition. Young actors often undergo rigorous training schedules and face immense pressure to succeed. While there are certainly support systems in place,
Yeah.
the demands of the industry can take a toll both physically and emotionally.
It definitely adds another layer to understanding her story. We see these incredibly talented young actors on screen, but we rarely think about what goes on behind the scenes. This deep dive is already prompting some reflection, and I'm sure our listeners are finding it insightful as well. If you're enjoying this conversation and want to hear more deep dives like this, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel.
Please.
It really helps us out.
Yes, it does.
Now, going back to Kim Sae-ron's career, it's worth noting that she continued to work in the industry, with her last film being Bloodhounds in 2023.
Yes. But sadly, her career was essentially put on hold due to a drunk driving incident in May 2022. She was fined 20 million won, which is about 13,850 US dollars.
Okay.
While this may not seem like a huge sum to some, it's important to remember that penalties for DUI in South Korea are quite severe.
Right.
This incident significantly impacted her public image and led to her stepping back from acting roles.
It's a reminder that even those in the spotlight are not immune to making mistakes, and that actions have consequences.
Yep.
This event cast a shadow over her career, but it's essential to remember that it doesn't erase her accomplishments or the impact she had on the film industry.
Absolutely. Her talent was undeniable, and her early success is a testament to that. And that brings us, unfortunately, to the news of her passing.
This is where the story takes a truly heartbreaking turn. The article states that she was found at home in Seoul by a friend. Can you elaborate on what we know so far about the circumstances?
The details are still emerging, but the police are currently investigating the cause of death. As of now, there are no signs of foul play or a break-in, adding another layer of mystery and sadness to this already tragic situation. It's certainly a devastating loss, and the circumstances surrounding her passing only add to the complexity of her story.
It's a stark reminder of the fragility of life, especially when we consider the pressures and scrutiny faced by those in the public eye. This deep dive is really making me think about the human cost of fame and the need for greater understanding and compassion, not just towards celebrities, but towards everyone facing their own struggles.
I agree. We often see the polished image presented in the media, but we rarely glimpse the vulnerabilities and challenges that individuals, particularly young actors, might be grappling with behind the scenes.
It's like we get so caught up in the entertainment aspect that we forget there's a real person with real emotions behind it all. This news has certainly resonated with a lot of people, and it sparked some important conversations.
It has. And while it's crucial to acknowledge the mistakes she made, it's equally important to remember the legacy she leaves behind. Despite her career being cut short, Kim Sae-ron left an indelible mark on Korean cinema.
Absolutely. She had this remarkable ability to convey complex emotions on screen, even as a child. I remember watching The Neighbor and being completely captivated by her performance. There was a depth and nuance to her acting that was well beyond her years.
She had a natural talent, that's for sure, and she worked with some of the biggest names in the industry, starring alongside seasoned actors like Won Bin in The Man from Nowhere. Her filmography is a testament to her dedication and talent.
It's a shame that we won't get to see how her career would have evolved. But for those who haven't seen her work, I highly recommend checking out her films. It's a way to appreciate her artistry and remember the impact she had.
I second that. Her performances offer a glimpse into her talent and the potential she possessed.
You know, this conversation has been incredibly insightful, and I'm sure our listeners are feeling the same way.
Yeah.
If you're enjoying this deep dive into Kim Sae-ron's life and legacy, we encourage you to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It helps us keep bringing you these in-depth discussions.
We appreciate your support. And as we reflect on Kim Sae-ron's life and career, I think it's a good opportunity to consider the broader context of young actors in the entertainment industry.
What do you mean by that?
Well, her story, while unique in many ways, also highlights some of the systemic issues that young actors, particularly in demanding industries like South Korea's, often face. The pressure to succeed, the lack of work-life balance, the constant scrutiny, these are all factors that can contribute to burnout, mental health struggles, and unfortunately, sometimes even tragedy.
That's a really important point.
Yeah.
It's easy to get caught up in the glamour and excitement of the entertainment world, but we need to remember that there are real people behind those images.
Exactly. And it's crucial to have open conversations about these issues to create a more supportive and understanding environment for young performers.
It's about recognizing the human element, the vulnerabilities and the challenges that come with navigating a career in the public eye, especially at a young age.
It's about fostering a culture of empathy and support rather than one of judgment and exploitation.
It's a sobering thought and a crucial conversation. To have Kim Sae-ron's story, while tragic, can hopefully serve as a catalyst for change, prompting us to reevaluate how we view and treat young actors in the industry.
I hope so too. It's about fostering a culture where vulnerability is not seen as a weakness, where seeking help is encouraged, and where the well-being of the individual is prioritized.
It's about moving beyond the sensationalism and headlines to see the human being behind the persona and to offer support rather than judgment.
Precisely. We can learn from Kim Sae-ron's journey, both her triumphs and her struggles, and use it as an opportunity to advocate for a more compassionate and supportive environment within the entertainment industry and beyond.
Well said. As we wrap up this deep dive, I want to thank our listeners for joining us on this journey of reflection and remembrance. Kim Sae-ron's passing is a tremendous loss for the film world, but her legacy as a talented actress will undoubtedly live on.
Her performances will continue to captivate audiences, and her story, while tinged with sadness, can serve as a reminder of the importance of empathy, understanding, and the fragility of life.
It's a reminder that even in the face of tragedy, there's always something to be learned and always an opportunity to grow and evolve.
If this deep dive has resonated with you, we encourage you to continue exploring Kim Sae-ron's filmography and to engage in conversations about the pressures and challenges faced by young actors in the entertainment industry.
And as always, if you found this discussion insightful, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing to our channel. It helps us reach a wider audience and continue bringing you these thought-provoking deep dives.
Thank you for joining us. Until next time, take care.